Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on a Daybreak Plus on KVUE Plus, streaming free on your TV. I'm Rob Evans alongside meteorologist Casey Sherman and Hannah Rucker as well. And it is raining outside as you step out the door already.
It is, and we had a kind of a crazy start to the morning commute, I will say. I do want to give an update on this incident in Georgetown. You know, if you were just waking up, good, looking much better out there now. All of those lanes on I-35 in Georgetown are back open. Let's take a look across the rest of the area as well. Here's MoPac for you. If you're coming in from Parmer, I was noticing a little bit of a slowdown approaching the Domain, and that looks a lot better. But look at those dark clouds. Ooh, something's coming in here. And of course, KC's had that active radar all morning, and it sounds like we could have a couple rounds of it. So you'll want to listen up to the forecast here. But wanted to give you an update. This was looking, oh goodness, it was a mess earlier. There was an 18-wheeler turned over to the side, and just about all the southbound lanes, well, really, yeah, all of them were closed for several hours, and they just opened up in the last 30 minutes. But hearing reports out on the ground, it sounds like there is still a little bit of congestion on that frontage road naturally because everyone was flowing over there trying to get out of that gridlock. But the main story is that the lanes are back open in Georgetown. So good to see that. And things are clearing up on MoPac right now. Really looking good if you're traveling southbound from Round Rock, or maybe you're heading vice versa, heading north on MoPac. Looking good there. A little bit of car trouble right now on 290, and also feeling some slowdowns really on both sides of the highway there. Not too bad, though. I mean, we have certainly seen worse. And I'll tell you what, just a little bit of stop and go through Onion Creek, but no active crashes there. So we'll certainly take that. Let's talk more about the driving conditions, though. We do have that flood risk this morning. What are things looking like now, Casey?
Yeah, so ongoing flood risk, especially out across Blanco County right now. That's where we're currently tracking some of the heaviest of the rain, along with some lightning. If you're traveling up and down I-35 or MoPac, really not too many issues. We've just seen some light showers at times for areas like Round Rock. Most of the focus this morning has been out across the hill country. You can see the thunderstorm that's now sinking southward of Gillespie County. The worst of it currently now moving into the Blanco County area, Blanco, the community of Blanco right now, and along that stretch of US 281. Some heavier rain starting to spread in, along with some lightning. This is just the south of Johnson City. So Johnson City, I'm sure hearing some rumbles of thunder from time to time. We have a brand new flood advisory out for this area as we have been tracking rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. Some of those areas just within the past hour receiving anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches of rain. This will continue through 10 a.m. this morning. Farther north, Mason County, thankfully your flash flood warning, it's since expired. You've dried up pretty nicely as this line continues to move from north to south. Again, haven't seen too much across the metro area, Austin metro area, a couple sprinkles at times, but most of the activity I think this morning is really going to be focused out across the hill country. These storms that we're currently seeing will continue to dissipate as they push southward over about the next hour or two, leaving us with a little bit of a break through this afternoon. Now the break allowing for the atmosphere to recharge, things heat up, and again we will see an additional round of showers and storms, but this afternoon's focus of the second round is going to be out across the I-35 corridor and across the coastal plains into this evening. That's where we do have a level 1 out of 5 risk to see some isolated strong to severe storms. After that second round of storms moves through, we're done with the thunderstorms for a while, and we are all about the heat as we take you into the upcoming weekend. I'll take a look at just how hot we're expected to get coming up.
Casey, thank you much. 7:04, and we're expecting to learn more details about a shootout involving Austin police officers this past weekend. This happened around 11 o'clock Saturday night on West Anderson near North Lamar. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis says it started when officers tried to pull over a stolen car. She says the driver then took off, hit another car, pushing it into traffic. One person in that car was taken to the hospital. Chief Davis says that suspect then tried to run away and shot at officers. That's when officers fired back. The suspect was taken to the hospital in police custody. And we're also waiting to hear confirmation from Austin Police that the body pulled from Lady Bird Lake yesterday is a teenager who went missing in the water. Now, the body was found in the water near the hike and bike trail and Lamar Bridge. Police say that teen went missing after kayaking and paddleboarding with his family. The teen, we're told, was not wearing a life jacket when he either stepped or slipped off of a sudden drop-off in the lake. Police are reminding people, wear life jackets when you are in or around the water.
Certainly waiting for that update. And new this morning, city leaders in San Marcos denied the expanding license plate readers. Overnight, city council voted against to have 33 cameras around San Marcos. Right now, the city has 14 cameras. The proposal would have also added more equipment and software to the police department. Council members brought up privacy concerns since the cameras detect license plates and cars.
Our own policy that the department created themselves requires annual audits. I have yet to see an audit. We don't even know how this technology is being used, and we're being asked as a council to make a lack of an informed decision to expand it. When we see our river
During public comment, residents say this technology could be used by ICE to track immigrants. That's a concern, but San Marcos Police Chief Stan Standridge says there have also been 0 requests from the Department of Homeland Security since the cameras were first installed.
Austin City Manager T.C. Broadnax announced council members are postponing a decision to install more license plate readers around the city. Council members were expected to vote tomorrow, but the item has been removed from the agenda. The announcement comes after dozens of people showed up to council yesterday to speak about privacy concerns with those cameras. Austin police say license plate readers help quickly arrest violent criminals and help recover stolen cars. But opponents say they're concerned about data privacy and whether information can again be shared with other agencies, including ICE and DPS.
And Travis County leaders are moving forward with new strategies to fight the opioid crisis. In 2023, drug overdoses claimed 486 lives in the county. That number dropped to 380 last year. Health officials credit the decline due to peer recovery support, methadone treatments, Sharps disposal kiosks where people can safely dispose of needles, and the distribution of Narcan. Commissioners looked over next year's prevention plans and what they might cost, saying it's a step in the right direction, but there's still a long way to go with this.
And this is such a powerful example of the good that does. This money has gone directly to try and help people who developed deadly addictions because the manufacturers who made so much money off it lied to doctors, lied to the public, and people died because of it.
The county's Health and Human Services Department is asking for another $525,000 in harm reduction funding so they can keep these efforts going.
Hutto ISD is rolling out its first offender program for vaping incidents on campus.
It gives students a chance to avoid criminal charges by providing an opportunity for redemption before legal action is considered. KVUE's Brianna Perez joins us in studio to explain. Brianna, I mean, this sounds like a very important program and a lot of young people that are involved in vaping right now.
Oh yeah, I'm really glad that they're rolling it out today. But Hutto ISD says that this initiative is focused on education, mentorship, and accountability for students caught vaping or in possession of THC or nicotine products on campus. District officials say participation is voluntary. The student would enter a structured program, which includes an online educational component, a written reflection, and weekly mentorship meetings with an officer. Nicotine-related offenses involve a 60-day period in school suspension, while THC offenses result in placement at the District Alternative Education Program and a 90-day commitment. For THC cases, students and parents must also attend 2 education sessions with Williamson County's Juvenile Services, and students are drug tested halfway through and at the end. Now, after finishing the program, students are on probation for 1 year, and if they break the rules again that year, both the original and the new offenses are reported.
The main thing that the FOP, or the First Time Offender Program, gives us is the ability to look at the root cause as far as the decisions that our youth are making and trying to educate them as far as better choices instead of looking at it as a criminal penalty or punishing them for it. It's to correct the behavior for a healthier lifestyle.
Hutto ISD Police Chief William Edwards says last year the district saw a little over 300 criminal incident reports that were investigated by Hutto ISD Police Department, with over half of those involving vapes. And Chief Williams says they already have some students that are currently taking part in the initiative for nicotine and THC. They plan to follow up with them over the summertime. In studio, Brianna Perez, KVUE News.
Got to keep our kids safe. All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Well, tonight is the annual corporate battle of the bands for HAAM, which is, of course, the Health Alliance for Austin musicians.
They do so much for our local musicians, and the event is a major fundraiser so musicians can access affordable health care. KVUE's Malia Mazuinvero joins us live from outside ACL Live this morning.
Yeah, she has all the work going on into making this happen. Malia, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. Well, it is a great event that they've been doing for more than a decade now, if you can believe it. And it's actually the 20th anniversary of the nonprofit as well. So a lot of exciting things this year. We've got another special guest for you this morning. We're joined by Christopher Alberts, the Chief Development Officer of HAAM. Thank you so much for sticking around this morning.
Thanks for having me.
We are so excited to talk about this event. Tell me what it's like when people walk through those doors tonight.
Absolutely. So Corporate Battle of the Bands is one of HAAM's signature fundraising events. And from the minute you walk through the door, it's high energy. It's a lot of fun. There's going to be 6 bands made up of corporate employees from our sponsoring organizations that are going to take the stage and vie for the title of Austin's best corporate band. And there's a lot of talent on that stage. It's a blast.
So much. So tell me about some of these bands. I know we got HEB is in there. It's a lot of surprising talent.
Absolutely. So our presenting sponsor, Cirrus Logic, they have the Haptics. HEB has Knuckles Sandwich that'll be on stage. ABC has the Anteaters. It's a lot of these corporations that we know and love around town that have employees that have these hidden musical talents that they get to flex that muscle up on stage in front of celebrity judges in a packed house. So it's a blast, and it raises critical funds for the Health Alliance for Austin musicians. Super
important too with what y'all are doing. Tell me how helpful it is for what you guys are doing for musicians here.
Absolutely. So our mission at HAAM is to provide access to affordable health care to musicians here in Central Texas. And you know, music brings in about $2 billion a year in economic activity for the region. But the average musician makes less than $24,000 a year. So that's why HAAM and fundraisers like this are so critical, because it provides that anchor that keeps musicians playing on the stages we know and love. And our goal tonight is to raise $300,000, which, thanks to our partnerships in the community, every dollar that we raise is leveraged into $7 worth of healthcare services. So if we hit our goal tonight, that's $2.1 million of healthcare services for working musicians.
That is so huge for them. That's good to bridge that gap between how much money they make and how much money it brings in. We want to keep them around here.
We do.
Tell me about some of the music that they're going to be playing tonight. I know there's all different kinds.
Absolutely. So most of these bands are going to be playing, you know, covers of some of the songs we all know and love that we belt out in the car when we think no one's listening, but folks will be up on this stage. So HEB,
sing along. You can sing along.
You can sing along, absolutely. HEB, by way of example, they do heavy metal covers of pop songs, and usually brings down the house. But again, it's surprising the amount of talent that are on these stages. Cirrus Logic, our presenting sponsor, won fan favorite last year. They're trying to defend that title this year, and the crowd really gets into it.
Yeah, and some of them have gone on to do more.
Absolutely. Some of the bands that were formed up for this event have gone on to be able to gig just like actually out in the world. They get hired to play events because people come and see them, love what they're doing, love the sound, and they're like, come play for us.
That is so unique. That is so awesome that they find their start here.
Exactly.
And how do they win? How do they get judged for this?
So think American Idol, but nice. You know, so we've got a panel of judges that are not going to try to make any of the bands feel bad, because it is for a good cause. But we've got 2 of HAAM's former CEOs that are joining us. Kelsey Wilson, a musician from Sir Woman, and Miles Blockson, who we hear on the radio, you know, each and every morning. They will be our panel of judges that will kind of rate the bands, give them feedback on their performances on the night, and help us crown a winner.
It's going to be so fun. And Quita Culpepper from KVUE is emceeing the event.
She is.
We'll be excited to see her out there. Thank you so much. There's so much to look forward to. We can't wait for this, and the event is free and open to the public, which is awesome. You can all head down here and hear the live music. The doors will be opening at 6:30, and then all that fun music is starting at 7. You don't want to miss it. Happening tonight. Reporting live in downtown Austin, Malia Masmoto, KVUE News.
All right, it's very important to keep, like she said, keep the musicians around, keeping Austin what Austin is.
It is. I've got a family of local musicians, and they're keeping it weird, and we got to take care of them. Thank you so much, Malia. And from local to national news, President Trump's spending plan is facing major pushback as it makes its way to the Senate. And it's not just coming from lawmakers, but from one of his closest allies, it seems. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest from Washington.
This morning, President Trump's spending plan faces an uphill battle on Capitol Hill. It passed through the House by just 1 vote, and now with several senators critical of the bill, Elon Musk is weighing in, calling Trump's plan a, quote, disgusting abomination. Musk, whose stint in the administration just ended, accused lawmakers of passing a massive, outrageous, pork-filled bill that will massively increase the gigantic budget deficit.
It's very disappointing. With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill.
Advocates promise the bill will cut federal spending by $1.5 trillion, but the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates it will add $3.8 trillion to the national debt over the next decade.
Behind the smoke and mirrors lies a cruel and draconian truth. Tax breaks for the ultra-wealthy, paid by gutting health care for millions of Americans.
The centerpiece of the bill would make Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent. Some critics concerned about how much that would cost. Others focused on the bill's cuts to Medicaid and food assistance programs. Yesterday, at least half a dozen people were arrested outside of 3 senators' offices. Capitol Police saying they resisted officers as they protested the proposed changes to Medicaid.
The primary piece of this change is we're putting a requirement on able-bodied adults with no children to actually work.
The bill can only afford to lose support from 3 senators to pass. The bill could have a major impact on Elon Musk's business by phasing out tax credits for electric vehicles and regulating AI. Any changes to the bill in the Senate would have to go back through the House before it reaches the president. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Well, here in Texas, now that the 89th legislative session is over, Governor Greg Abbott has signed 2 bail reform bills into law, allowing judges to keep people accused of certain crimes in jail while they await trial. Senate Bill 9 requires a judge, not a magistrate, to set the bond for a person if they're out on parole when they're charged with a new crime. Senate Bill 40 bans cities and counties from giving taxpayer money to nonprofits that pay for bonds. Yesterday, the governor called the current bail situation in Texas a governance problem.
If a crime occurs for the first time, we might be able to consider that to be a societal problem. If a criminal gets arrested, a dangerous criminal, and gets confined, and then is released back on the streets, and then another vicious crime occurs, that goes beyond a societal problem. That's a governance problem.
To not stand for the crime victim.
Well, there were 2 other bail reform bills that did not pass this session, despite Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick pushing for them. Yesterday, Lieutenant Governor said he'll keep fighting to pass those bills, whether it's in special session or during the next regular legislative session, which is in 2027. KVUE Political Director Ashley Godot caught up with several Austin area lawmakers to talk about the session. Ashley spoke with State Senator Sarah Eckhart and State Representatives Donna Howard, John Busey, and Vicki Goodwin. We plan to share segments from those conversations later today on KVUE News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And you'll be able to watch Ashley's full discussions, of course, with the state lawmakers today on KVUE Plus, which you've already downloaded on your TV and watch it for free because you're doing it right now, and we appreciate that. Well, a Navy ship honoring gay rights activist Harvey Milk is expected to be renamed. The change ordered by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
According to sources, the timing of the decision during Pride Month may have been intentional. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has a story.
This morning, a gay rights icon is set to be stripped of a major military honor as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth orders the Navy to rename the USNS Harvey Milk.
Harvey Milk was a hero. He was a veteran who then died for our community.
The ship is named after the first openly gay man elected to office. Milk, who served in the Navy, joined the San Francisco Board of Supervisors before he was assassinated in 1978.
I know you're angry! I'm angry!
His life memorialized in the award-winning movie Milk.
We've got to give him hope.
But according to a newly released memo, Secretary Hegseth is demanding the Navy remove Milk's name from the ship to better reflect the Trump administration's priorities. The timing during Gay Pride Month drawing criticism. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling it a shameful, vindictive erasure of those who fought to break down barriers. The move is part of a larger effort by the Trump administration to reestablish what it calls the warrior culture of the military.
No more gender confusion, no more climate change worship. We are laser focused on our mission of warfighting.
And the Pentagon says the new campaign is working. For the first time in more than a decade, the Army has now met its recruitment goals, months ahead of schedule. But previous changes made to recruiting methods may get more of the credit, including a new program for recruits who don't make the cut.
One of the biggest things is really something called the Future Soldier Prep Course. It's a camp to help potential new recruits with boost their academic scores and boost their physical fitness so that they can meet the requirements for the U.S. Army.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Your time now on this Wednesday morning is 7:20. That pesky Saharan dust coming on through central Texas this weekend. It's going to bring hazy skies and lowering that air quality as well. This is video of how hazy our skyline looked during last year's dust event. But to me, this looks like another day in West Texas if you've ever lived out there. But I'll tell you what, the dust is carried by trade winds from Africa. It should hit Austin by late Friday and stick around through Sunday. People with asthma or allergies might want to stay indoors. On the bright side, the dust can lead to colorful sunsets and help slow down hurricane activity. So things should clear up early next week. So we have a silver lining here. It's going to be a little bit dusty, but once again, you got to focus on the good things in life. Yes. We got the sunsets around here, and if you haven't seen have you seen a good Texas sunset yet? You probably haven't because it's been so stormy this last month.
I know. I mean, I've seen a couple of them. You know,
You've seen some good ones
over Lady Bird Lake. It's
good.
But Saharan dust, so it just makes it the filtration of the dust.
Colors.
Right.
Yes.
It makes it kind of. I will say Florida, we had a ton of dust, and they kind of make it for that just monochromatic.
Yes.
Sunset is what I like to say, like bright reds, bright oranges, but you don't get like the pinks and the purples as you do with like a dust-free day.
Cool thing about living in Florida is you can watch the sunrise and sunset because there's no elevation change. You're like, wow. It's there's no, you can watch it from the water on both sides, I should say, yeah.
Oh, that's right. You both worked in Florida. How fun.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to go back on cable for a little bit, and then we'll hop right back here in a couple minutes right here on KVUE Plus. So keep it here. We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody. A good Wednesday morning to you, Central Texas. Your time now is 7:23. Got some storms moving across the area, so be very careful out there. Could be a little slick, and there's some flooding risks as well. Casey has more details on that. And overall, we've had a pretty good morning for most of our viewing area, except Georgetown. We had a doozy earlier with an 18-wheeler turned over to its side. All those southbound lanes were blocked, and I'm very pleased to tell you they got it opened up again, so we have some travel. But now it looks like we have a stalled vehicle right where that crash was at Southeast Interloop, but whole lot better than a full closure, I'll tell you that. Seeing some minor slowdowns on Mopac. Overall, not looking too bad. We just got a little stop and go approaching the Domain. We can also work with that. And then 290 looks like that stalled vehicle cleared out heading towards Oak Hill. But let's talk more about the storms that are moving in across the area that could be impacting the rest of our morning commute, Casey.
Yeah, good morning. Rain, thunderstorms, a lot of the south sinking south of the KVUE viewing area. We still have some kind of lingering out in South Blanco County with some heavy rain and some lightning there south of Blanco and right along that southern border. But many of us currently drying things up. Certainly is the case for Mason County. They had a flash flood warning earlier on. We haven't seen much activity across the I-35 corridor, and we're not going to see much through this morning. It's by later this afternoon. We'll have to watch for an additional round of showers and storms developing that could lead to an additional round of some isolated strong severe storms. As we take a look at your 7-day forecast, we will be looking at today being the last day of those thunderstorms, drying as we into Thursday, Friday, and into the upcoming weekend. And then eventually the heat is on. We're talking about those triple-digit high temperatures making a comeback by Sunday afternoon.
I'm practicing for the big show at the HAAM Alliance Benefit.
Yes,
the Battle of the Bands.
Your harmonica, or what do you have?
Yeah,
We should have a
kazoo.
band. He should do the kazoo.
And the armpit flute.
And he says he wants to do the armpit. Okay. And I figured that I could do maybe, I don't know.
Tambourine, you're a tambourine,
kind
yeah.
of girl.
Yes.
And you want to play the recorder?
I mean, I played the flute in high school. I could do that.
Me too.
Yeah, the flute, we
I don't
need
know
a
if it'll
flute.
be as impressive as this.
You know, I can hit 3 octaves, I'm just saying. Welcome back to Daybreak Plus here on KVUE Plus. We're streaming, believe it or not, right there on your television. We are live. I'm Brian May.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. We've got Casey, Hannah, you guys were really busy. You with the accident and then also with the busy radar. Both of you have been really busy. Everything kind of calming down a bit, or
looking better on my end.
I mean, weather-wise, it's getting better. We were
Good.
seeing some showers kind of pop up in areas like Williamson County, but for the most part, most of the storms kind of fizzling out.
Okay.
That's good, right? We like a little fizzle right before the sizzle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When
Is
the
this the
traffic picks up, you want the weather to come down, right, Hannah?
That part,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep, we go together. We do.
We sure do. Yeah, you know what? And as we head into and take a look at your weather, here we go. That radar is showing still some active conditions out across the hill country, but we're starting to see things kind of generally wind down. Blanco County, at least along the southern border, still tracking that thunderstorm that has prompted a flood advisory for that area. So heads up, we're still tracking likely some potting on roadways, especially for those low-lying areas that typically experience some poorer drainage. This is through 10 a.m. this morning, Blanco, Gillespie County, as this line continues to pull off to the south. We have seen some activity develop also out across parts of Williamson County, so some slightly heavier downpours now near the Georgetown area. Round Rock still looking at some light rain, but a lot of us across the metro area, we haven't seen too much so far for this morning. By this afternoon, though, as we start to see our first round of storms wind down, we'll allow the atmosphere to recharge a little bit more, and then we'll be looking at an additional round of rain and thunderstorms out across at least I-35 corridor and the coastal plains. So that threat shifting from what was more of a western hill country threat overnight back eastward across the coastal plains as we head into later on today and into this evening. First round pushes southward. I think a lot of us getting a nice break from the rain and thunderstorms as we get closer to around late morning, mid-afternoon, around the lunchtime hour. But here we go, 4 or 5 o'clock, we start to see some pop-up showers and storms. They'll be hit or miss. Not all of us seeing rain and storms in hill country. I expect you'll be getting a nice break as we head into later on today, but those coastal plains areas anywhere from Bastrop County to Fayette County up towards Milam County will be tracking the potential seeing some showers and storms along with Caldwell County through about 9-10 o'clock, which could be packing a punch in terms of maybe some isolated storms capable of producing those damaging winds and maybe even some hail. So rain chances picking up again, highs today in the lower 90s, and then the heat is really on as we head into the second half this work week and the weekend. I'll show you just how hot we're expected to get coming up.
Cranking up the heat. We got some kind of creepy looking clouds moving through the area. Thank you so much, KC. And just always a reminder, turn around, don't drown. As we saw last week, some of those areas that she's talking about in the low-lying areas that are already susceptible to that flooding really doesn't take much, especially since it has been so dry. So taking a look right now, Mopac out at Parmer, we've got a nice flow of traffic going on there right now. But I want to bring your attention back to Georgetown. So much earlier this morning, we had a very serious crash with the 18-wheeler turned over to the side. Now we have another crash and another stalled vehicle. This whole stretch here at South Inner Loop, all impacting the southbound lanes here. So that first crash is at Lakeway Drive, just one lane blocked, so we can work with that compared to the full closure we saw earlier. And then we have a separate incident, stalled vehicle right where that crash was at Southeast Inner Loop southbound in Georgetown, all on I-35. Let's take a look downtown. We got a crash on Lavaca Street at 2nd Street, so they're working that right now. And then seeing a little bit of slowdowns over the water there, but not too bad. Definitely can move through that area just fine. I was noticing some slowdowns on Mopac near the Domain, looking a lot better, and really no major issues on Mopac. We're getting along fine there.
All right, Hannah and Casey, thank you so much. You know, we talk a lot about how dangerous wind can be during severe weather, but what does that really mean for your home?
A specialized testing center is putting it to the test. Jason Wheeler shows you how vulnerable parts of your house can be how vulnerable they can be when high winds strike.
We just got done talking about wind, like really high wind, and what it can do to our homes. For instance, if it breaches our garage door and pressurizes the whole structure. Let's also think, though, about the rest of the outside of our homes, because at a nonprofit testing center created by the insurance industry, they study this stuff, including by firing projectiles like we get in some of our severe weather here. I shot an 8-foot-long 2x4 at a wall. That one hit a stud. Damage, but not catastrophic. But then I fired another. Gone. That one went straight in.
An interesting way to illustrate it. I mean, I didn't think it was going to go all the way through there.
So you might want to be mindful of this when you are seeking the room where you ride out severe weather, like a tornado threat. You want to go as far to the interior as you can, as many walls as possible between you and the outside. This also makes you think, though, about the materials that are on the outside of your home, and if they're being replaced at some point in the future, might you consider something that could increase resistance? For example, I once replaced some regular wood siding with fiber cement boards. We get a lot of severe weather here, so these are things to think about for preservation of life and to keep what's probably your most valuable investment right on the money.
Demonstration, right?
It can be dangerous when the wind gets high, because you don't think about it, but it's what the wind picks up that is the danger.
Exactly. And that's why, I mean, you know, in cases of tornado warnings, we often say get to not just the interior building of your home, but things like bathrooms. The plumbing can provide extra structure for any kind of thing that's flying, of course, in the air. There's projectiles and also the strong winds, which you can get, you know, up to 130 miles per hour sometimes with things like EF3 tornadoes.
I also wonder when you have those, like when they have those fast builds or like the 3D printed homes and stuff, are they as sturdy as, you know, the tried and true like brick homes? You know what I mean?
Those are becoming more popular.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder.
Think about that.
Yeah. And the thing like we saw last week, straight line winds, sometimes you think of hurricane winds as swirling 115, 120 miles an hour, but those straight line 70, 80 mile an hour winds can be just as dangerous.
No, I mean, they can. When you get up to the 70, 80 mile per hour range, you can see some minor structural damage. And when it comes to the trees, especially those that have like the shallow root systems, those can be knocked down pretty easily. And of course, the trees can sometimes cause more damage when they fall on a home.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you hear those stories where someone was in their living room, they just left, and then the tree came down. It's like, oh, that was such a close call.
Yeah, those close calls like that, scary.
Thank you, Casey.
Thanks, Casey.
Well, a teen in Georgia is proving that hard work pays off.
I love stories like this. The teenager flipped more than just burgers. He flipped hearts all across the nation. After graduating high school, 18-year-old Mikhail Baker rushed straight to work at his Burger King shift. Still wearing his cap and gown. He didn't have time to change. His mom spotted that dedication, posted a TikTok, and that TikTok, of course, went viral. The result, a $10,000 scholarship from Burger King, the Burger King Foundation. Plus, get this, more than $190,000 raised through a GoFundMe that was set up in his name. Baker's work ethic sparked a wave of generosity and earned the daughter of the woman who posted the photo a $10,000 scholarship too. She also got a scholarship. That's a whopper of a gift, you might say, from Burger King.
Doesn't it show like, dedication, you know, work ethic?
Sure.
Just these qualities and characteristics that you want in any worker, you know, in any human being. So
it's fun to see when people do things like that to be recognized by other people. You know, the financial part is great, but it's the notoriety that he's gained from being a hard worker, taking the time right after graduation to go right into work and then be rewarded for that financially by the scholarship money and all that people have donated to him as well.
A lot of money he's going to get.
Well, you can buy a lot of Whoppers with 200 grand.
Their onion rings are...
Burger King, low-key, has some good onion rings, right?
Don't sleep on their onion rings.
Do not, quite literally, do not sleep on them. But figuratively, too, you do not want to sleep on the Burger King onion rings. Those are fresh and good.
They're fresh and good.
That's
you know, in the 90s, there were Beanie Babies, Pokemon cards. Those were popular toys.
Sure, Cabbage Patch Kids. I had a few of those.
Yes.
Now to a new toy that is the latest sensation. Oh, my. They're called Labubus. They're known for unique designs, furry bodies, big eyes, sharp teeth, a little bit of everything.
Look at Brian.
Labubu has quickly become a must-have for collectors and fans alike. Am I supposed to hold this?
Yes, hold it.
They're available through limited vending machines at Pop Mart. Now, the toys have sparked long lines and, of course, high demand. We've got a couple of Labubus, courtesy of Mars.
Our director Mars. Can we need a tight shot of A Labubu with like jeans.
Do they
love it.
Do they have names? Does mine have a name?
They're all girls. I do know that.
Oh,
What,
are
now
they
why is
really?
that? That's not fair.
The owner, she's a sweet little girl from China, and she wanted them all to be girls.
Well, good for her.
I
And
love
this
that.
bucket hat.
They're just so cute. But I think.
Labubu.
And
Where'd it go, Hannah?
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Oh,
all right. That's all right.
Oh.
There we go.
There we go. There's
There
the
we go.
Labubus.
Two little friends.
We should name them. What should we name them? Hannah and Casey.
Yeah, right.
This one reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, actually,
That
very
childhood
much so.
book.
But I'm telling you, I haven't done my nails yet. Sorry, let me just hide them.
I know, I'm missing
So many people love these Labubus, and it's just
Yeah.
like this craze.
It's funny how it. And what was
Like
it?
an obsession.
Right?
It was a K-pop person tweeted or viral TikTok
From Blackpink. Yeah, she talked about her obsession with them, and then everybody started kind of enjoying them.
The websites sell out quick.
Yeah, they're
Those-
Shout out to Mars, our wonderful director who brought these in. They're
Those
so cute.
teeth or something. Look at those teeth.
Those chiclets.
They're mine my little kitties.
Chiclets.
But I love that they can hang off the bags.
So is that what you do with them? You put them on your backpack or your purse, and
I
then
think it's like an accessory.
A
You
little
can just throw on
accessory,
there
yeah.
to
Oh, they have cute little
to
feet,
show
too.
everyone, hey, I've got a Labubu.
Yeah.
How many are there?
Might need like an umbrella today, or at least it did earlier. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, a little earlier, and probably again for this afternoon with the hat. That's got the right idea.
They are. Labubu.
What did you all like love growing up?
Beanie Babies for sure.
Beanie Babies?
Yep.
Beanie Babies.
I liked American Girl dolls a lot.
Oh, I like that.
Those are fancy.
Yeah, I was Cabbage Patch. Weren't you
Star Wars, those little
I thought it
Star
was G.I.
Wars
Joe.
figures. No, G.I. Joe was a wimp compared to Han Solo. Han Solo was the way to go when this was in the 70s and 80s.
Whoa.
Man, those little Star Wars, Hannah, be careful. Those little,
Careful.
you could have them, and if you really were smart, see,
Yeah,
you kept them in the packaging. And now they're worth, some of them worth
Right.
a lot of money. Mine are all half arms are torn off and heads are severed, but
Would
that
you
was
dismember
fun.
I would dismember my Barbies all the time.
I know.
I had weird Barbie in there, yeah.
Weird Barbie.
Weird Barbie, of course, right?
She'd go in the bathtub sometimes.
Weird Barbie, was she the one that kind of took it off?
Hair, hair, half, a couple strands of hair left.
She's been through the wars.
She was the one that lived
Tough
life.
times, yeah.
That's the
Right,
Barbie
yeah,
I like.
But yeah, anyway, for weather-wise, Labubus, we got the right idea with the hats, and I don't know if there isn't a Labubu umbrella. I will say I have looked online at some of them because they're cute, and I'm very tempted to get one. Rain and storms that we're currently tracking through parts of the hill country. A lot of the strongest storms now pushing south of our hill country areas, so still some leftover showers. Fredericksburg, Gillespie County, Blanco County, the strongest part of the storm now pushing south of you, but we still have a flood advisory in effect for those areas, including Gillespie, Llano, and also parts of Blanco County, thanks to some of the heavier rain that we had just about a half hour ago. We're now starting to see some showers spread in from the west for Georgetown, Leander, and Round Rock. Some steady rain falling there at the moment, but the good majority of the I-35 corridor pretty quiet, at least for now. These storms that we have been tracking since early this morning. Mason County, the first to see these around 4 o'clock this morning, all ahead of a front that will continue to try to work its way in from the north today. It really won't make its way too much farther than where it is currently, so we're not going to see any kind of cool down from this, but it is going to provide a focus point to get some additional showers and storms going as we head into late this afternoon. So our first round currently passing through. We'll continue to see things dry out here as we head into about the next hour or so. A couple showers left over possibly as we get closer to about late morning, early afternoon, but a lot of us will see a break in the meantime. Some sunshine peeking through, and that should help fuel some additional storms as that front continues to kind of hang out across the area by 4 or 5 o'clock. So by this afternoon, evening commute could be featuring some thunderstorms across the area. Better chances for the second round are going to be shifting to the east. So I-35 corridor, coastal plains, you'll have the higher chance of some isolated storms through 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and even through about 10 o'clock before those start to fade. And then we'll be heading into a much drier forecast from Thursday onward for the remainder of the week. Here's our severe weather outlook for today. The second round of storms set to fire for this afternoon. That'll be again the I-35 corridor and eastward towards the coastal plains, where our main threat is going to be those damaging wind gusts of up to and over 60 miles per hour. Here's our hail risk. It's below 5%, so it is low. I wouldn't quite rule out some areas of hail, but the main threat with those will be damaging winds. Out the door, as we take a look in Round Rock, you can see still some wet pavement as they've been tracking some ongoing showers throughout this morning. Upper 70s, Austin Airport, Camp Mabry. Today actually will be featuring a day of slightly below average highs, thanks to the fact that we've got the cloud cover and that chance for showers and storms. Soak it in while we have it, because high pressure builds Thursday Thursday, Friday into the weekend, and it's going to be hot, high pressure, that dome of sinking air, allowing for that air to sink and warm as it compresses, building each and every day as far as the heat goes, where by Sunday, we're talking about triple-digit temperatures making a comeback to the area. This is also going to be paired with, by the way, the heat and also some Saharan dust moving back in. So we're talking about hot and hazy conditions for this weekend. Concentrations fairly low. It'll be Saturday into Sunday, but you may notice a little bit of a brownish, milky appearance to the sky, and that may be lowering our air quality a little bit. Of course, the heat only exaggerates poor air quality when we have it, so just keep that in mind. Speaking of allergy count today, grass, weeds, and oak low. Mold will be high today. 7-day forecast as we head into your Thursday. We start to dry things out. No more rain or storms for the remainder of the week. We're all about the heat through Sunday before we start to see some additional showers and storms return for Monday and Tuesday of next week.
I like what you said, soak it up while it lasts, because it's so true. Once those rain chances start to disappear, well, we tend to stop seeing them for several months. So we're soaking up every last drop because it's still so nice and green across the area. Right now it is 7:44. We are taking a live look out at 183. If you're coming in from Cedar Park or Jollyville, smooth sailing there, just a lot of that construction. And we've had a couple crashes this morning. Waking up in Georgetown, making improvements there. Of course, we had a really bad crash earlier. That is no longer. This is a new crash, I-35, also southbound at Lakeway Drive. It's just blocking one lane, so we can certainly work with that. And then we were able to get that stalled vehicle cleared up right there at Southeast Inner Loop, where that crash was earlier. Let's take a look across the rest of the area. We do still have an active incident downtown on Lavaca Street at 2nd Street, but overall, downtown's looking pretty good right now. A lot of construction going on there, but I feel like that's just our life now, right? We're all just one big construction site. Looking good on Mopac right now. If you're coming in from Lewis Henna, traveling southbound, those slowdowns towards the Domain are clearing up. Taking a look out not too far from the Spicewood area, looks like we have a developing situation involving the fire department on Mule Shoe Bend Trail. So we're going to learn details on that. But as you can see, area-wide slowdowns across the map as we're all heading out the door on this hump day.
All right, thank you so much. A popular Utah-based soda shop is heading to Central Texas. Swig, known for its dirty sodas, which are fizzy drinks mixed with flavored syrups, creams, and add-ins. And the company just signed leases for new locations in Leander and Hutto. One shop will sit near Gaddis School Road off Highway 130 in Hutto. The other will open on Hero Way in Leander. The company has not announced an opening date just yet.
What makes them dirty? What makes them dirty soda?
Just all the add-ins, right? You could have like what was it? Coconut,
strawberry
vanilla.
puree.
Yeah.
They've got like a roasted marshmallow. I've watched clearly way too many like TikTok videos on this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the moms, they love it.
Flavoring. Yeah.
But it got famous from the show, right?
From the show, they kept talking about that. Yeah, because they don't really drink alcohol, but they can indulge in a lot of sugary drinks. But I think my stomach would hurt after a while. There's too many.
It's a lot of flavor.
A lot of sugar, you know?
But like I said earlier, I mean, we grew up on Sonic, man. I'd get those Root, 44s with
the big ones,
the nerds in there and the
you
cherry
would.
vanilla Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, just mix it up.
You're adventurous.
No, I know. You're like, I don't like soda. No, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, no, when we were kids, yeah, you like if you get one of those soda machines, you're just pouring every single one in, and it's
fill her up.
It's like disgusting.
What did y'all call that?
It's sugar.
I didn't call it a dirty drink.
Suicide. I don't know if that's like I know.
We called it a shipwreck.
You called it a shipwreck?
Give me everything. A little bit of everything.
Yeah, we just say, he's going crazy.
Yeah. Be like, right, yeah.
Running around.
We acted like it tasted great, but it really did not taste great. Yeah, because you ruined your drink by putting it all in there, and your mom would be like, you got to drink it now.
Right, yeah.
You got to commit.
And then
Everyone has their concoction and their order, at least according to that show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I think.
Oh, God.
What'd you call it this morning? The Mormon Sonic?
Well, I said, yeah, it sounds like the Sonic for Mormon moms. No hate, seriously. Because
No, it's great.
We love
It's
our
great.
Sonics here in Texas, so.
Yeah, sure we do.
We should try it out.
Sonic does have some crazy sodas too. They got like those like nerd flavored ones.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. They got some crazy ones.
So Leander and Hutto, they both have one.
That sounds like fun. We'll go ahead. Maybe we'll show up for Daybreak Foodie Friday one.
That would be really fun.
Okay.
Drinky Tuesday or something.
Drinky Tuesday.
All right, 7:47 is your time. Superheroes swung into action yesterday at Dell Children's Hospital.
I love this. I love it. Love it. Austin police officers and hospital staff members dressed up as popular characters for the hospital hospital's annual Superhero Day. Check it out, the action-packed show featured look at there, Spider-Man, featuring all kinds of superheroes, some rappelling down the walls. Look at Spider-Man, how about that? That's a pretty good athlete. Spinning around into the courtyard below, young patients watch from the windows. Look at them taking their pictures and waving. That's fantastic. They watched from the courtyard, too, as their favorite heroes took on the Joker. They faced off against Penguin and much more.
The Joker and Penguin did not get away with it. Our superheroes came down and they saved the day, and they saved the teddy bears. To see their faces light up against the windows and their heroes come down and get to say hi, and Spider-Man is doing all his tricks, it's a great day.
It is a great day. After the show, the superheroes signed some autographs. They spent time with the kiddos during a meet and greet. The event has become so popular that it gives kids something to look forward to while they're getting their treatment in the hospital there. Gives them kind of a break from their everyday things to just enjoy. Look at Superman been hitting the gym.
Yeah, he is swole. He's got some biceps. Where's Wonder Woman? She's my favorite.
Wonder Woman. I don't know if she was there. We didn't see Wonder Woman, did we? That's cool. I love that those kids get to experience that. You know, they're going through some tough things, and just kind of check out for a little while and hang out with Superman and Spider-Man.
What an exciting day.
I like it.
You know, speaking of superheroes, moms are real life superheroes. So listen to this very resilient mother.
She's a long distance runner. I mean long distance, and is getting international attention for a recent race she won. ABC's Danny New has that story.
This is Stephanie Case. She's an ultra-distance runner, and here's another thing to know about her. She just won a 100-kilometer race while continually stopping to nurse her newborn.
Any new mom out there will know we are the best at multitasking.
This was the 42-year-old Canadian's first race in 3 years after what she calls a challenging pregnancy journey that included multiple miscarriages. She had her daughter, Pepper, back in November, and during this competition in northern Wales, she linked up with her partner and baby at 3 different aid stations.
When you're breastfeeding, your kid can pick up on your own energy. So when I got into the aid station, I needed to try to forget that I was in a race.
And listen to this. Stephanie only intended for this to be a warm-up race to get comfortable competing again. So when it was over, she did not even realize she had finished in first for the female runners. That video you saw earlier was actually a reenactment recorded moments later, because Stephanie started in the last heat a half hour after the first wave. A different runner had actually broken the tape first.
And then the race organizer said, hold on, we're checking the chip times, but we think you might have won. And I was absolutely floored.
In the weeks since, Stephanie's comeback victory has attracted attention online around the world. One commenter on her Instagram writing, "As a 6-month postpartum mom, I'm struggling to find the words to express my awe and appreciation for showing the world how incredible women and moms are." And on that note, what does Stephanie hope other moms take from this moment?
They don't have to give up their passions and their dreams when they become a mom. The things that make us happy and whole are the things that make us better parents.
Like I said, this was really supposed to be a warm-up race for Stephanie. So up next, she has another 100-kilometer race, but this time in Colorado. So it could be a little more difficult than the altitude, but why doubt her at all? In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
What a story.
Wow.
Some people are built different, man.
That's true. That's true. How about that?
So I was wondering if the baby was in the stroller, or if the baby would just kind of with the other parent. I don't know.
Just magically show up.
Yeah, right. I would think it'd be that way, because then you're pushing a stroller too. Oh my gosh, and she still won.
Yeah,
we're like, logistics are crazy, man.
I mean, they were, but very interesting. I love that. Moms are so built different.
And that was just a practice race. Yeah. They're like, oh, by the way, you won. She's like, wait, what? So they put the tape back up and let her run through it again. That's cool.
I also think just to show as for other parents and other moms, and even their kids, what you can do. Never set limitations.
And think about when they show that little baby the pictures and tell the stories about the time mom ran the marathon and won, and you got to, it was just amazing.
Little runner in the making.
That's very cool. Our weather, not very cool. I can see the 7-day, but it is kind of trending down at the end of the 7-day. I wondered how it was going to be when you had that triple digit up there.
We have got a tough stretch of heat, though, ahead as we head into the weekend. Today, kind of our last day of the thunderstorms, so the rain, the storms that you're dealing with for your morning commute, it's kind of a good thing, because we're heading into a very dry but hot weather pattern as we head into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, talking about upper 90s by Saturday. In fact, I think we could even be looking at double triple-digit days for the weekend. We do have some models putting us also at 100 degrees for Saturday. I kept it at 99, but it's a possibility. Sunday, 100 degrees for that forecast high, and I do think we'll be looking at a couple, maybe some of us breaking some records across the area. Saharan dust also, by the way, moving in for Sunday, so it's not only going to be hot, but it's going to be kind of that hazy look. And then Monday and Tuesday, we've got that chance for showers and storms, making a little bit of a return across the area. And yes, we start to fall with those temperatures too.
Yeah, by the way, I think this Labubu misses you. I think it wants
Labubu!
so cute.
These are them. These are my children, my two Labubus.
Right.
I will put them on my keychain.
Yeah, by the way, if you have a Labubu, send us a picture so we could see your prized possessions.
What are their names again?
We were going to call them Casey and Hannah. That's
Casey. Which one's Casey?
I don't know.
You can have the bucket hat because you're prepared.
Casey,
Okay. And then I'm just
the
like the
weather.
little like
You're
feral
yellow
creature.
today. That's kind of
There it
yellow.
You said they're about $30 a piece?
That's what I looked up. Yeah, I've only bought 3 so far, so
Right, yeah.
we'll see
We
what
need one for
happens.
each of us.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that'd be really
That's
cute.
right.
Mine has a meat stick because I'm always
the
eating that
snack
for breakfast.
Yeah, I'm
of
hungry.
champions. I had a chicken sandwich just a little while ago.
You did?
Oh, it was
Did you make it?
Oh yeah, homemade, right from
Oh,
scratch,
man.
right from the freezer.
Fresh from the freezer.
Oh, we've got another quick weather and traffic update coming for you, or I don't know, it's on your TV.
For you, with you.
With you, for
Just-
you.
However
We're
you
all
wanna
one.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for Daybreak Plus on K-Break Plus. We hope you have a plus kind of day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Daybreak plus.
K-break.
I love it.
K-break.
I think we're just
We're having like a mini
Candy bar.
See y'all
Labubu's
tomorrow.
getting to us.
The K-Break.
I want a K-break.